All right, gents, holidays are right around the corner, and you want to go out there and not waste your hard-earned money. In today's video, 5 tips to save huge when it comes to name brands. Now, the first thing I need to address is why be brand loyal? Why stick with one brand when it comes to suits, maybe your shoes, maybe your luggage, maybe your grooming products, whatever it may be? Why stick with one company? Well, I've got 3 reasons. Number 1, fit. Number 2, quality. And number 3, your experience with the customer service. Now, to illustrate this, I'm going to use Allen Edmonds. They're made just right down the road in Port Washington, Wisconsin. So USA made, but let's first talk about the fit. So what I love about Allen Edmonds, they use the same last again and again. That's the wood form that goes in when they're building out the shoe. So that tells me if I purchased a pair 5 years ago, guess what? I purchase a pair now, it's still going to fit the same. And that's huge, because how many times have you gone out there and bought a shirt from the same company, maybe 5 years difference, and all of a sudden they change the fit, and it's frustrating. So find a brand that actually sticks with the same fit. Also, does it fit with your lifestyle? So there are different brands out there for different types of lifestyle. Right here, this suede, this Janus suede, very high quality. It actually fits my lifestyle here, small town Wisconsin, but you need to make sure you find a brand that fits with you. Next up, number 2, we've got quality. So Goodyear welting, I know with Allen Edmonds, one of the best manufacturers here in the United States, because they use what is known as a Goodyear welt. And this is where you can be resold. It's a very time-intensive process, something that you don't see on inexpensive shoes. The shoes that have stuff like this done, you're talking $400 to $500. So things like that that go into it, the fact all the craftsmanship, the cork inner lining, all the material, everything. So it's got a good build quality. But find a brand that, in a sense, is consistent there. Finally, customer service. Can you get a hold of somebody? Can you call the factory if you had to send something back and get a return or an exchange? I know for me, Chevy trucks, great customer service at least 15 years ago. Whenever I had an issue, they sent me a check and they covered that issue, and it wasn't even under warranty. So things like that make me brand loyal. So first up on our list, gentlemen, are going to be group order or pre-order websites. Many of them out there. Here I want to talk about 3. Let's talk about Groupon. Let's talk about Kickstarter. Let's talk about Massdrop. Groupon, you will occasionally see some big brands on there. That's when they're going to be liquidating. You've got certain stores that are going out of business. They'll do a Groupon. Other times, what you'll see are a lot of brands you've never heard of, maybe made in the same factory. They may talk about that, but Groupon is mostly going to be for services. So if there's a particular brand you've always wanted to try their service, that may be a great option for you. Now, Kickstarter is going to be more about the physical goods. Kickstarter started off with brands you've never heard of, trying to get their wares out there, but bigger brands are now coming in there. They're maybe sponsoring even groups of entrepreneurs to even come into their factory and to test things out. So occasionally you will see some pretty interesting brands over on Kickstarter. Now, companies like Massdrop are a bit different, and this is where they're going to go ahead and sell it. They're working with an established manufacturer, and so they pretty much take the risk out of the equation. They also really focus in on community polls and things like that. Now, Massdrop is the sponsor of this video, and they are working with Allen Edmonds to make these boots right here. So these chukkas I was talking about earlier, made by Allen Edmonds, who's been around pretty much forever. I've been talking about this brand for years. Just go out there and Google this brand. It's an amazing brand. Look for shoes like this. What are they retailing for? Almost $400. Companies like Massdrop, they're able to bring them in at a great price. These shoes that sell for almost $400, you can get them for just over $200. Very limited offer. I'm going to put it down in the description. Now, next up on our list, guys, outlets. Outlets are great because you can actually go to them. They're almost a destination in the sense they've got restaurants. You can walk to all these various outlet malls. And I would say that you can find some great deals there. On the other hand, I do need to warn you about outlets that they're not the same. 20 years ago, outlets actually got the clothing and everything that was returned back to companies, and it was a liquidation. Nowadays, they're actually making clothing, making products, making shoes, making luggage that is specifically for the outlet. So they never truly sell it at that high retail. So you'll go into the Brooks Brother outlet. I can tell you what is in their outlet is not normally in the main Brooks Brother store. So that's kind of a frustration there as you go into the outlet and you realize everything is of lower quality. I'm not saying that you can't find some great deals. You can, and that's why they're on this list. But understand, when you go to an outlet, have your expectations set. Again, the great thing is you can physically go in there. The bad thing is that they're making sometimes lower quality products for the outlets. So next up, we've got resell sites, and specifically these are websites where people are selling their used goods. Now, used goods, there's a wide variety of used goods. There are roughly used goods that you don't want, like someone selling used underwear, do not buy that. But someone that is selling a pair of shoes that have never been worn, that is a great find and a great deal. I'm going to link to the websites down in the description, but eBay, Craigslist. But did you know that Facebook groups are actually putting together, yes, groups of people that are salvaging things together? Websites like Put This On, they actually go through eBay and he tries to find some of the better deals. So there are some great options out there if you know where to look. But understand, the more that something is advertised, the better pictures there are, the better the description. In a sense, the more competition for it. My next tip is to make sure that you receive communication from the company and go multi-channels. So you want to be on their email list. You want to make sure that you're getting their physical catalog if possible. You want to go like their Facebook page, maybe follow their Pinterest page. Reach out to them and contact them in multiple ways. That way, whenever they have internal deals, some of them keep their best deals for their loyal fans, for their own following. They kind of want to reward people. And so if you're waiting there, all of a sudden you're able to get that 40% off, that 50% off on that name brand that you've been following. Again, it's going to take a bit more time. You're going to have to put up with some of their really bad emails. But the point is, hey, if you want to save that money, you're willing to put in the time, make sure to have that relationship with the company. My next point, make sure you shop at the big box stores. So a lot of these bigger box stores, especially the really nice ones, they carry those name brands. And a lot of the name brands, they try to strike deals like, hey, we don't want you to discount below this point, or we want to be exempt. But not all companies are doing that. And you'd be surprised, especially when they just start to carry a brand, that, hey, they have their 40% wide store sale. But I have heard of people seeing deals that they would never see on actually the retailer site, because the box store sometimes does this as an accident. But if you're a smart shopper, you know exactly, hey, that is a great deal. I'm just going to reach in and grab it. And that's what you want to be looking for. Now, this list wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about thrift stores and consignment shops. Let me explain the difference. Thrift stores often take donations and they sell them. Consignment shops, they don't take donations. They actually have people bring things in that are curated. They have a split wherever, if you sell something, the owner of it gets 50% and the consignment shop gets 50%. What I find consignment shops are great for is very well curated items, things that are going to be of higher value. Thrift stores, amazing things you can find there, but there's also a lot of stuff you have to weed through. Both of them, you've got to put in a lot of time. And depending on where you're at, it's going to be something, it's going to be a hit or miss. All right, gents, that's it. Hopefully you learned something new in this video and you enjoyed it. And don't forget, go check out Mass Drop. Go grab these Allen Edmonds. This deal is not going to be around for very long. It's an amazing deal. $400 shoes for just over $200. Guys, it doesn't get much better. Allen Edmonds, I love this company. I've talked about, from the quality of the suede to the Goodyear welt to the overall build, the fact it's made here right in the USA, right here in Wisconsin. I can't say enough great things about this company. Gentlemen, if you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments, especially if you think I missed something or I could have added something to this video. Other than that, gents, I'll see you in the next video.